Have you ever wondered what it truly means to walk on the path that God has laid out for us? Is it just about following rules? Or is there something deeper, something transformative about living under His guidance? After all, life often feels like a maze. Each day we face choices that test our patience, our faith, and our understanding of right and wrong. Some paths look easy, some tempting, and some almost impossible to traverse. But the question remains, how do we recognize the path that God wants us to follow? How can we be sure that we are not merely wandering in circles or chasing after illusions? Walking the path of the divine begins with awareness. It begins with understanding that God is not distant, not a silent observer, but a loving guide who desires our good. He has provided signs, scriptures, and teachings to help us navigate life's uncertainties. Yet many ignore these signs, distracted by worldly desires, fear, or doubt. The first step is to pause and reflect. Am I truly seeking God's guidance, or am I relying solely on my understanding? Faith plays a crucial role in this journey. Walking the divine path does not promise a life free of challenges. On the contrary, it often demands courage, patience, and unwavering trust. Sometimes the way may seem unclear and the obstacles overwhelming, but it is precisely in these moments that we must remember. God's path is not always the easiest, but it is always the most rewarding. Trusting Him, even when the outcome is uncertain, is a hallmark of true devotion. Prayer and meditation are like lamps on this path. When we spend time in communion with God, we open our hearts to His wisdom. This practice illuminates our choices, strengthens our resolve, and calms the storms within our mind. Even small moments of reflection each day can create a ripple effect, guiding us steadily forward. Walking with God is not about grand gestures. It is about consistent, mindful steps that align with His teachings. Another essential aspect is humility. To follow the divine path, we must acknowledge our limitations and surrender our ego. It is easy to assume we know what is best for ourselves, but God sees the bigger picture. By listening and being willing to adjust our steps according to His will, we open ourselves to blessings that are beyond our imagination. This surrender is not weakness, it is strength, for it shows our willingness to grow and be guided. In this journey, we also learn compassion. The path of God is not walked in isolation. As we progress, we encounter others, some who inspire us, others who challenge us. By treating every soul with kindness, understanding, and patience, we mirror the love of God in our actions. Walking the divine path is as much about inner growth as it is about touching the lives of others positively. So how do we take the first real step on this journey? How can we ensure that our choices today set the foundation for a life truly aligned with God's vision? In the next part, we will explore the practical ways to recognize and walk this sacred path daily, turning faith into action and thought into meaningful living. Now that we have asked ourselves how to take the first step, the question arises, what practical ways can guide us to walk this sacred path every day? How do we transform faith into daily actions that reflect God's wisdom and love? Walking the path of the divine is not merely a concept to be admired. It is a lifestyle to be embraced. It begins with intention. Each morning, before the busyness of life consumes our thoughts, we must consciously decide to align our day with God's will. This might be as simple as offering gratitude for the life we have, praying for guidance in our decisions, or dedicating our actions to serve a higher purpose. Small acts of devotion, when practiced consistently, create a foundation for a life guided by divine principles. Awareness of one's thoughts and actions is equally vital. God's path often calls us to reflect deeply on our motives. Are our choices self-centered, or do they serve a greater good? Do our words build others up, or do they sow conflict and misunderstanding? By examining ourselves honestly, we begin to identify areas where we fall short and where we can improve. This self-reflection is not meant to breed guilt, but to encourage growth, humility, and a conscious effort to walk in alignment with God's vision. Discipline is another key element. Life is filled with distractions, temptations, and shortcuts that may seem easier, but lead us away from the divine path. Developing discipline in our daily habits, whether in prayer, study of sacred texts, or acts of kindness, ensures that we remain focused. Discipline is not a restriction. It is a tool that enables us to make conscious choices, to resist fleeting temptations, and to remain steadfast in our commitment to God's way. Community and guidance also play a crucial role. While walking the divine path is personal, we are not meant to journey alone. Seeking counsel from spiritual mentors, participating in worship, and sharing experiences with like-minded believers strengthen our resolve. They remind us that the path, though challenging, is navigable with support, encouragement, and shared wisdom. Yet, even with guidance, awareness, and discipline, challenges are inevitable. Trials and uncertainties will test our faith, sometimes making us question the path itself. It is precisely during these moments that perseverance becomes essential. Each challenge is an opportunity to deepen trust in God, to cultivate patience, and to embrace His timing rather than our own. Recognizing that obstacles are not punishments, but lessons in disguise transforms every difficulty into a stepping stone toward spiritual maturity. By embracing intention, reflection, discipline, and community, we create a life attuned to God's guidance. But how do we recognize when we are straying or when our decisions align perfectly with His will? In the next part, we will explore the signs, experiences, and inner confirmations that indicate we are truly walking the path of the divine, helping us stay connected, aware, and faithful in every step we take. Walking the path of the divine requires a sensitivity to the subtle ways in which God communicates with us. Often His guidance is quiet, experienced not in grand signs, but in the gentle nudges of conscience, the inner voice that reminds us to act with love, patience, and integrity. These moments of clarity may come while reading scripture, during prayer, or even in the stillness of a walk in nature. Recognizing these signs requires attentiveness, mindfulness, and a heart willing to listen. One of the most consistent forms of divine guidance is the feeling of peace. When a decision aligns with God's will, there is often a calm assurance that transcends fear or doubt. Conversely, discomfort, anxiety, or repeated obstacles may indicate a need to reconsider our direction. By learning to discern between fleeting emotions and deeper spiritual confirmation, we cultivate the wisdom to choose paths that lead to growth and righteousness. Consistency in spiritual practices strengthens this discernment. Daily prayer, meditation on holy texts, and acts of service create a rhythm in life that keeps our hearts open to God's influence. Even in moments of distraction or fatigue, returning to these practices reorients our spirit. Over time, this constant connection forms a strong spiritual compass, allowing us to navigate the complexities of life without losing sight of the divine path. Another critical aspect is trust. God's timing often differs from our expectations. While we may desire immediate results or visible rewards, the path of the divine unfolds gradually, teaching patience and perseverance. Trusting that each step, each challenge, and each lesson is part of a greater design allows us to walk faithfully, even when the outcome is unclear. This trust transforms uncertainty into an opportunity for growth rather than a source of fear. Compassion toward others remains a defining feature of this journey. Walking in alignment with God is not only about personal growth, but also about reflecting His love in the world. Every act of kindness, every word of encouragement, and every effort to support those in need are expressions of walking the divine path. Through these actions, our faith moves beyond thought and into meaningful impact, reinforcing the connection between inner conviction and outward behavior. The journey also teaches humility, recognizing that our understanding is limited and that we depend on God's wisdom cultivates a spirit of surrender. This humility is not passive, it is active engagement with life under divine guidance. It allows us to accept correction, embrace learning, and approach each day with openness and gratitude. As we become more attuned to God's guidance and more disciplined in following it, life begins to unfold with clarity, purpose, and meaning. In the next part, we will focus on the challenges that test our commitment and the ways to overcome distractions and temptations, ensuring that our steps remain steady on the path of the divine. Life on the path of the divine is not without challenges. Temptations, distractions, and trials constantly test our faith and commitment. These obstacles are not signs of failure, but opportunities to strengthen our resolve and deepen our understanding of God's guidance. Recognizing them as part of the journey allows us to respond with patience, wisdom, and steadfastness rather than frustration or despair. Distractions come in many forms. Material desires, worldly recognition, or even the pursuit of personal comfort can divert attention from the spiritual journey. The key is mindfulness and awareness of what pulls us away from our purpose in a conscious effort to redirect our focus. Simple practices such as taking moments for reflection, prioritizing prayer, and setting intentions for each day can help maintain alignment with God's path. By consistently evaluating our choices, we prevent small distractions from growing into significant detours. Temptations often test our character. They challenge our patience, honesty, and integrity, pushing us to compromise values for temporary satisfaction. Walking the divine path requires resisting these temptations through faith, discipline, and reliance on God's strength. Scripture and spiritual teachings provide guidance, offering wisdom on how to navigate these tests. Equally important is surrounding ourselves with supportive communities and mentors who encourage accountability, reinforcing our commitment to righteousness. Trials and hardships are another aspect of the journey. Life is unpredictable, and suffering, loss, or uncertainty can make the path feel overwhelming. Yet these experiences are opportunities for growth. They teach resilience, deepen empathy, and help us rely more fully on God's guidance. Instead of seeing hardships as obstacles, they can be embraced as lessons, shaping our character and strengthening our connection with the divine. Forgiveness also plays a crucial role in overcoming challenges. Often, distractions and temptations are intertwined with relationships, misunderstandings, or conflicts. Learning to forgive both ourselves and others clears the heart and mind, allowing us to continue the journey without unnecessary burdens. Holding on to anger or resentment only diverts energy from walking faithfully on the path God has set before us. Gratitude is a powerful tool in maintaining focus. By recognizing and appreciating God's blessings, guidance, and presence in everyday life, we cultivate a positive mindset that strengthens resilience. Gratitude shifts our attention from obstacles to opportunities, from fear to faith, reinforcing our commitment to the divine path. Challenges are inevitable, but they do not define the journey. They refine it. By staying mindful, disciplined, compassionate, and grateful, we continue forward with clarity and purpose. In the next part, we will explore the power of prayer and meditation as tools that illuminate our steps, bringing deeper connection and insight as we advance on the path of the divine. Prayer and meditation are pillars of strength on the divine path. They provide a direct connection to God, nurturing our spirit and illuminating the steps we must take. In the midst of life's chaos, these practices serve as anchors, grounding us in faith and guiding our thoughts, words, and actions toward righteousness. Through prayer, we communicate with God, expressing gratitude, seeking guidance, and sharing our burdens. It is not merely a ritual, it is a heartfelt dialogue that fosters intimacy with the divine. Each prayer deepens our awareness of His presence, offering comfort in times of uncertainty and clarity when decisions seem overwhelming. Prayer strengthens trust, reminding us that we are never alone on this journey. In our meditation complements prayer by allowing stillness in our hearts and minds. In moments of silence, we can reflect on God's teachings, internalize spiritual wisdom, and recognize subtle inspirations that may otherwise go unnoticed. Meditation encourages patience and focus, helping us observe our thoughts without judgment and align them with divine principles. Together, prayer and meditation create a balanced spiritual practice that harmonizes intention with action. Consistency is essential. Just as our bodies require nourishment, the soul requires regular attention. Daily practices of prayer and meditation, even if brief, maintain a steady rhythm that reinforces our connection with God. Over time, these practices cultivate discernment, enabling us to perceive guidance in everyday choices, big and small. They become the light that illuminates the path, helping us navigate challenges, temptations, and uncertainties with confidence and faith. These spiritual practices also foster humility and surrender. When we pray or meditate, we acknowledge our dependence on God's wisdom rather than relying solely on our understanding. This surrender does not imply weakness. Instead, it demonstrates trust, obedience, and readiness to embrace divine timing and direction. By surrendering the need for control, we open ourselves to blessings and insights that exceed our expectations. Furthermore, prayer and meditation nurture compassion. As our hearts attune to God's presence, we become more sensitive to the needs of others. This heightened awareness translates into actions that reflect love, kindness, and empathy, reinforcing the principle that walking the divine path is not just about personal growth, but also about uplifting those around us. The transformative power of these practices is subtle yet profound. They shift perspectives, calm anxieties, and strengthen resilience. Life may continue to present trials, distractions, and temptations, but prayer and meditation equip us to respond with wisdom, patience, and integrity. They keep us aligned with the divine path, ensuring that each step we take contributes to spiritual growth and fulfillment. As we cultivate regular practices of prayer and meditation, our journey becomes clearer, more intentional, and filled with divine insight. In the next part, we will explore the role of service and selflessness, showing how acts of love and giving strengthen our walk and bring us closer to the essence of God's path. Service and selflessness are fundamental aspects of walking the path of the divine. The journey is not meant to be lived solely for personal growth or comfort. It is an invitation to reflect God's love through actions that benefit others. Every act of kindness, every gesture of support, and every moment dedicated to helping those in need strengthens our connection with God and aligns our hearts with His will. True service begins with a sincere heart. It is not performed for recognition or reward, but out of genuine compassion and empathy. When we serve without expectation, we cultivate humility, understanding that our role is simply to be instruments of God's love. This mindset transforms ordinary actions into sacred practices, turning daily life into a continuous expression of devotion. Selflessness also demands sacrifice. There are times when giving our time, resources, or energy may challenge our comfort or convenience. Yet each act of sacrifice enriches the soul, teaching patience, generosity, and trust in God's providence. By prioritizing the needs of others, we learn to detach from ego-driven desires and embrace a higher purpose, one that reflects the essence of the divine path. Moreover, service strengthens community and fosters unity. Walking the divine path is not an isolated journey. Our interactions with family, friends, neighbors, and even strangers create opportunities to practice love, understanding, and forgiveness. Acts of service ripple outward, inspiring others and creating environments where compassion and faith flourish. In this way, the individual's journey contributes to a collective experience of God's presence in the world. Consistency in service is key. Small, regular actions often have a greater impact than grand gestures done sporadically. Whether it is helping a colleague, supporting a friend, feeding the hungry, or simply offering a listening ear, these seemingly small acts accumulate to form a life marked by devotion and love. Over time, they become a natural extension of walking the divine path, making faith visible through meaningful action. Selflessness also requires reflection and discernment. It is important to serve in ways that truly benefit others, rather than seeking validation or creating dependency. Aligning service with God's guidance ensures that our actions are both effective and spiritually enriching, deepening our connection with Him while positively impacting the lives of those around us. Through service and selflessness, our spiritual journey moves from personal growth to tangible expressions of God's love. The path becomes more than a personal quest. It becomes a living testament to faith in action. In the next part, we will explore the importance of gratitude and contentment, showing how appreciating God's blessings and maintaining a humble heart sustains our walk on this sacred path. Gratitude and contentment are essential companions on the path of the divine. They transform our perspective, turning ordinary experiences into opportunities to recognize God's presence and blessings. A heart filled with gratitude notices the beauty and goodness in life, even amidst challenges, while contentment allows us to accept life's circumstances without unnecessary frustration or envy. Together, they cultivate peace, joy, and resilience. Gratitude begins with awareness. By taking time each day to acknowledge the gifts we often overlook, family, health, opportunities, or simple moments of beauty, we cultivate a mindset rooted in appreciation. Expressing thanks through prayer, reflection, or acts of kindness reinforces our connection to God, reminding us that every blessing, whether large or small, comes from His divine care. Gratitude shifts focus from scarcity to abundance, fostering a spirit that recognizes God's hand in every aspect of life. Contentment complements gratitude by teaching us to embrace life as it is without constant yearning for more. It does not mean passivity or a lack of ambition. Rather, it is the acceptance of life's flow with trust in God's wisdom. Contentment allows us to walk steadily, unaffected by comparison or desire, and to find fulfillment in each step of the journey. When we practice contentment, we reduce inner conflict and maintain clarity in our choices, staying aligned with the divine path. Both gratitude and contentment nurture humility, recognizing that our abilities, successes, and resources are blessings from God, fosters a sense of dependence on His guidance rather than pride in our own accomplishments. Humility softens the heart, making it receptive to spiritual insight, empathetic toward others, and willing to serve selflessly. This mindset strengthens the foundation of walking the divine path, ensuring that our actions reflect divine wisdom rather than personal ego. These qualities also deepen relationships. A grateful and content heart naturally expresses kindness, patience, and understanding toward others. By appreciating the people in our lives and accepting them as they are, we create harmony and strengthen communal bonds. Gratitude and contentment, therefore, extend beyond personal peace. They influence our interactions, encouraging love and unity that reflect God's teachings. Challenges and trials remain inevitable, but gratitude and contentment transform how we experience them. Rather than seeing difficulties as obstacles, we learn to view them as lessons, opportunities for growth, and reminders of God's faithfulness. This perspective empowers resilience, allowing us to navigate adversity with calm and courage while remaining faithful to the divine path. By cultivating gratitude and contentment, our journey becomes more peaceful, purposeful, and spiritually fulfilling. In the next part, we will explore the importance of patience and perseverance, understanding how steadfastness and consistent effort help us overcome obstacles and remain true to the path God has laid before us. Patience and perseverance are indispensable virtues on the path of the divine. Life often presents situations that test our endurance, delays, setbacks, or prolonged challenges that require steadfastness and unwavering faith. Developing patience allows us to navigate these moments without frustration or despair, while perseverance ensures that we continue moving forward step by step, guided by God's wisdom. Patience is more than waiting. It is active trust in God's timing. Often we desire immediate results or quick resolution of difficulties, but the divine path unfolds at its own pace. Learning to accept this rhythm cultivates inner calm and resilience. Patience teaches us to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively, allowing us to make decisions aligned with God's guidance rather than fleeting emotions. Perseverance complements patience by reinforcing consistent effort. Walking the divine path is not a momentary commitment. It is a lifelong journey that requires dedication, discipline, and endurance. Even when progress seems slow or invisible, perseverance ensures that we maintain focus, continue spiritual practices, and uphold our moral and ethical principles. Each small, steady step accumulates into meaningful growth and spiritual maturity. Challenges often accompany moments that demand patience and perseverance. Trials may come in the form of personal struggles, conflicts with others, or unforeseen circumstances that seem insurmountable. By embracing these challenges as opportunities for growth, we transform adversity into lessons that refine our character and deepen our faith. Understanding that hardships are temporary and purposeful helps maintain clarity and motivation, preventing discouragement from derailing our journey. Faith is intertwined with patience and perseverance. Believing in God's plan strengthens our resolve, allowing us to endure difficulties with hope and confidence. Prayer, meditation, and reflection reinforce this faith, reminding us that no effort is wasted and that every step taken in alignment with the divine path carries eternal significance. The more we integrate patience and perseverance into our lives, the more resilient our spiritual journey becomes. These virtues also enhance our relationships. Patience allows us to listen more attentively, respond kindly, and maintain harmony even in challenging interactions. Perseverance motivates us to continue nurturing bonds, offering support, and contributing positively to our communities. Walking the divine path is not only a personal endeavor, but a shared experience. And patience and perseverance make us reliable and compassionate companions on this journey. By embracing patience and perseverance, we develop the strength to face life's trials with faith, resilience, and grace. In the next part, we will explore the importance of humility and surrender, understanding how yielding our ego and trusting God's guidance enriches every step on the path of the divine. Humility and surrender are essential qualities for anyone seeking to walk the path of the divine. True humility is not thinking less of ourselves, but recognizing our dependence on God's wisdom and guidance. Surrender is the conscious choice to release control over outcomes, trusting that God's plan is far greater than our understanding. Together, they create a heart that is receptive, teachable, and aligned with divine purpose. Humility begins with self-awareness. Acknowledging our limitations, mistakes, and need for guidance allows us to grow spiritually. It prevents pride from clouding judgment and fosters an attitude of openness toward God and others. Humility softens the heart, making it easier to accept correction, embrace learning, and recognize the contributions of others along the journey. Surrender complements humility by transforming trust into action. It is the conscious decision to let go of the need to control every aspect of life and to rely instead on God's wisdom. This surrender does not mean passivity. It is an active engagement with life, guided by faith rather than ego. When we surrender, we open ourselves to divine timing, insight, and blessings that may otherwise remain hidden. Walking the divine path requires a delicate balance of humility and confidence. While humility teaches us to listen, reflect, and respect God's will, confidence ensures that we act decisively when called to do so. This balance allows us to navigate life with integrity, making choices that reflect divine principles while remaining mindful of our human limitations. Humility and surrender also impact relationships and interactions. A humble heart is compassionate, forgiving, and patient, fostering harmony and understanding. Surrender enables us to release resentment, judgment, and unnecessary attachment, cultivating peace within and around us. By practicing these qualities, our actions become expressions of God's love, enhancing both personal growth and communal well-being. Challenges and trials often test our humility and ability to surrender. Life may present situations that tempt pride, impatience, or control. In these moments, practicing humility and surrender is transformative. By responding with grace, trust, and acceptance, we strengthen our connection with God and align our path with His divine vision. Each act of humility and surrender, no matter how small, brings us closer to living a life of integrity, faith, and spiritual fulfillment. Embracing humility and surrender allows the divine path to unfold naturally, guiding us through life with clarity, peace, and purpose. In the next part, we will explore the role of discernment and wise decision-making, understanding how spiritual insight helps us navigate choices and remain steadfast on this sacred journey. Discernment and wise decision-making are vital for walking the path of the divine. Every day presents choices, some small, some life-altering, that influence our journey. Without discernment, even well-intentioned actions can lead us astray. Cultivating the ability to distinguish between what aligns with God's will and what merely serves our desires ensures that our steps remain faithful, purposeful, and guided by divine wisdom. Discernment begins with a clear and focused mind. Regular spiritual practices such as prayer, meditation, and study of sacred texts sharpen our perception, allowing us to perceive subtle guidance and recognize the consequences of our decisions. This clarity helps us differentiate between transient impulses and choices that reflect God's principles. By practicing mindfulness and reflection, we can approach every situation with insight, patience, and moral integrity. Wise decision-making is closely tied to discernment. Once we recognize the correct course of action, we must act with courage and commitment. God's path requires not only understanding, but also decisive action, demonstrating faith through our deeds. Even when outcomes are uncertain, acting with wisdom and trusting God strengthens our spiritual growth and ensures that our journey progresses steadily. Seeking counsel is another important aspect of wise decision-making. God often works through mentors, elders, or spiritually mature individuals who can provide perspective, guidance, and encouragement. Listening to their advice with humility and discernment prevents rash choices and reinforces our alignment with divine principles. While ultimately the responsibility rests with us, guidance from others enhances our ability to navigate life faithfully. Discernment also involves learning from past experiences. Reflecting on previous successes, mistakes, and challenges helps us recognize patterns, avoid repeating errors, and make informed choices in the future. By integrating these lessons with spiritual insight, we develop a deeper understanding of God's ways, allowing us to respond to life's complexities with confidence and grace. Challenges often test our discernment and decision-making. Temptations, pressure from others, or personal desires can cloud judgment. In such moments, turning to God through prayer and meditation provides clarity and reassurance. Trusting His guidance rather than relying solely on human reasoning ensures that our decisions are rooted in faith and aligned with the divine path. By cultivating discernment and wise decision-making, we navigate life with clarity, integrity, and purpose, remaining steadfast on the path God has laid before us. In the next part, we will explore the importance of courage and faith in facing uncertainties, showing how inner strength and trusting God enable us to overcome fear and move forward with confidence. Courage and faith are indispensable qualities for walking the path of the divine, especially in times of uncertainty. Life often presents situations that challenge our confidence, provoke fear, or create doubt. It is in these moments that courage, rooted in faith, allows us to continue moving forward, trusting that God's guidance will illuminate each step. True courage is not the absence of fear, but the ability to act faithfully despite it. Walking the divine path requires facing unknowns, making difficult choices, and standing firm in values even when the world seems to oppose us. Courage empowers us to confront challenges with integrity, refusing to compromise principles for temporary relief or comfort. It is faith that transforms this courage into a steady force, enabling us to rely on God's wisdom rather than our limited understanding. When faith provides the foundation for courage, believing in God's plan fosters confidence that each step, even in uncertainty, contributes to a greater purpose. Prayer, reflection, and meditation strengthen this belief, reminding us that we are never alone on the journey. With faith, we interpret obstacles not as insurmountable barriers, but as opportunities to grow, learn, and deepen our spiritual resilience. Courage and faith also inspire action. They prevent hesitation, allowing us to seize opportunities to serve, lead, and contribute positively to the lives of others. Fear often paralyzes, while faith motivates. By acting with courage grounded in trust in God, we embody His love and wisdom, turning abstract belief into practical, life-affirming steps. Challenges test both courage and faith. Unexpected difficulties, social pressures, or personal doubts can shake our resolve. In these times, relying on spiritual practices, community support, and reflection becomes critical. Courage coupled with faith enables us to persevere, making thoughtful choices that reflect divine guidance rather than impulsive reactions to fear. Additionally, courage nurtures humility. Recognizing that our strength comes from God, we approach each challenge with gratitude and reliance on His support. This balance ensures that our actions remain aligned with the divine path, guided by wisdom, compassion, and integrity. Courage without faith may lead to recklessness. Faith without courage may result in inaction. Together, they form a dynamic force that sustains us through life's trials. By embracing courage and faith, we navigate uncertainties with confidence, clarity, and trust in God's plan. In the next part, we will explore the importance of resilience and adaptability, understanding how embracing change and bouncing back from setbacks strengthens our commitment to the divine path. Resilience and adaptability play a vital role in sustaining one's journey on the divine path. Life is never a straight, predictable road. It is full of twists, unexpected turns, and moments where plans fall apart. In such times, resilience becomes the spiritual strength that helps us rise again, and adaptability becomes the wisdom that allows us to adjust to God's unfolding plan rather than resisting it. Together, they ensure that our walk with the divine remains steady, purposeful, and deeply rooted. Resilience is more than simply enduring difficulty. It is the ability to recover with a stronger, wiser, and more grounded heart. When setbacks occur, when prayers seem unanswered, or when challenges appear overwhelming, resilience allows us to continue walking forward. It teaches us to trust that every season, even painful ones, has purpose. Instead of being defeated, we learn to reflect, to grow, and to shape our inner life in accordance with God's guidance. Hardships then transform into stepping stones rather than stumbling blocks. Adaptability complements resilience by teaching us how to respond to change with grace. Sometimes God leads us in directions we did not expect. People leave, opportunities shift, goals evolve, and circumstances change without warning. Adaptability enables us to recognize that God's plan is greater than our own expectations. Rather than clinging rigidly to what is familiar, we learn to embrace new situations with faith, believing that the divine hand is guiding every transition. This flexibility opens the door for blessings we might have otherwise missed. Both resilience and adaptability help us avoid the trap of spiritual discouragement. When challenges arise, the mind often wants to give up or question the purpose of the path. But resilience says, stand firm. Adaptability says, flow with God's direction. Together, they create a balanced mindset that neither breaks under pressure nor remains stubborn in stillness. They remind us that the divine path is not always easy, but it is always meaningful. These qualities also strengthen our emotional and spiritual maturity. Resilience teaches patience and perseverance, while adaptability nurtures humility and openness. When we allow ourselves to learn from difficulties, we become more compassionate individuals. When we allow change to shape us instead of frighten us, we gain inner peace. This combination helps us respond to life with calmness and clarity rather than fear or confusion. Additionally, resilience and adaptability deepen our awareness of God's timing. We begin to understand that delays are often divine preparation and unexpected changes are often divine protection. With this understanding, our trust grows and our spiritual walk becomes stable, even in uncertain seasons. As resilience builds our strength and adaptability shapes our flexibility, we become capable of walking the divine path with deeper confidence and peace. In the next part, we will explore the role of gratitude, how recognizing God's blessings in every season transforms our journey and keeps our hearts aligned with His presence. Gratitude plays an essential role in shaping a heart that can truly walk the divine path. It is more than a polite response or a momentary feeling. Gratitude is a spiritual posture that changes how we see the world, how we understand God, and how we interpret the events of our lives. When we learn to recognize blessings, even in small, hidden, or unexpected forms, we begin to live with a deeper awareness of God's presence guiding each step we take. Gratitude shifts our focus from what is lacking to what is already given. Instead of dwelling on fears, disappointments, or the weight of challenges, gratitude helps the heart rest in the assurance that God is working all things together for good. It opens our eyes to the daily mercies that sustain us, the peace that calms us in turmoil, the strength that carries us through hardship, and the tiny joys that remind us of God's nearness. These moments may seem ordinary, but gratitude reveals them as divine gifts. Living with gratitude also brings clarity to the journey. When we appreciate what God has already done, it becomes easier to trust what He will do next. Rather than rushing ahead in anxiety or hesitation, we begin to walk with steadiness and confidence, aware that each step is supported by grace. This awareness softens even painful experiences. Gratitude does not deny suffering, but it helps us notice the light that still shines within it. A lesson learned, a connection strengthened, a resilience developed. A grateful heart is also a humble heart. It recognizes that every blessing, opportunity, and breath is a gift. This humility protects us from pride, self-reliance, or the illusion that we walk the divine path by our own strength. Instead, we acknowledge God as the ultimate provider, the one who opens doors, heals wounds, protects us from unseen dangers, and fills our lives with meaning. Gratitude keeps our hearts aligned with His will because it reminds us of His goodness. Furthermore, gratitude deepens compassion. When we are thankful for what we have received, we naturally become more generous toward others. We learn to share our time, our resources, our encouragement, and our prayers with a joyful spirit. Gratitude transforms us into channels of God's love, allowing our journey on the divine path to bless not only ourselves, but also the people around us. Practicing gratitude, even in seasons of waiting, is a powerful spiritual discipline. Some blessings arrive slowly, others in ways we don't expect, but a heart that chooses gratitude in every season remains peaceful, grounded, and receptive to God's timing. It strengthens our connection with Him and fills our journey with meaning, even when the path is unclear. Ending thought. Transition to part 14. As gratitude shapes our perspective and deepens our trust, we become more attuned to God's presence in every moment. In the next part, we will explore the importance of forgiveness, how letting go of past hurts frees the heart to walk the divine path with purity, peace, and spiritual strength. Forgiveness is one of the most powerful steps on the divine path, yet it is also one of the most challenging. It requires the heart to release pain, resentment, and memories that may have shaped us deeply. But forgiveness is not about forgetting the hurt or pretending the wound never happened. It is about freeing ourselves from the weight that prevents us from moving forward. When we forgive, we open space for healing, peace, and spiritual freedom, gifts that allow us to walk the divine path with a lighter and stronger heart. Forgiveness begins with understanding that every human being is imperfect, including ourselves. People make mistakes, speak hurtful words, or act carelessly. Sometimes the wounds are deep, and sometimes they linger for years. Holding on to these wounds may feel justified, but resentment slowly steals our inner peace and clouds our ability to hear God's guidance. Forgiveness becomes the key that unlocks the emotional chains that bind us, allowing us to breathe again with clarity and calmness. Choosing forgiveness does not excuse the wrongdoing. Instead, it acknowledges that continuing to carry the burden harms us more than it harms the one who hurt us. When we forgive, we shift the focus from the past to the future. We take back the strength that bitterness tries to steal. This shift opens our hearts to God's healing power, which restores broken places and turns pain into wisdom. Forgiveness also strengthens our relationship with God. He calls us to forgive because He understands the harm that unforgiveness causes. When we release anger, we come closer to His heart, full of mercy, compassion, and grace. Forgiving others reflects His nature within us. It is a spiritual practice that softens the spirit, deepens humility, and nurtures empathy. By forgiving, we mirror the same grace that God extends to us every day. Moreover, forgiveness clears emotional and spiritual pathways. Bitterness creates barriers to joy, to healthy relationships, and to spiritual growth. Breaking these barriers allows love, peace, and gratitude to flow freely again. It becomes easier to listen to God's voice, easier to trust His guidance, and easier to walk the divine path with purity and purpose. Sometimes forgiveness must also be directed inward. We may carry guilt from past choices or mistakes. Self-forgiveness allows us to understand that growth often comes from learning through failure. Letting go of self-blame opens the way for transformation and renewal. Through God's grace, we learn that no one is beyond healing, and no heart is too broken to be restored. Forgiveness is a journey, not a single moment. It may require patience, repeated intention, and gentle self-reminders. But each step taken toward forgiveness brings peace, clarity, and spiritual strength. It allows us to walk forward unburdened, free to embrace the divine path with a renewed heart. As forgiveness releases the past and lightens our spirit, We become more capable of embracing God's guidance with purity and openness. In the next part, we will explore the importance of serving others, how acts of kindness, compassion, and selfless love deepen our connection to the divine path and shape our purpose. Serving others is a profound expression of walking the divine path. It transforms our spiritual understanding into action and allows God's love to flow through us into the world. Service is not limited to grand gestures or public acts. Even small, unnoticed moments of kindness carry deep spiritual meaning. When we serve others with sincerity, we reflect the divine nature within us, compassionate, generous, and selfless. At the heart of serving others lies a simple truth. Every person carries struggles, hopes, and unseen battles. A gentle word, a listening ear, or a helping hand can become a source of comfort and strength. These acts of service not only uplift those around us, but also shape our own character. Serving others helps soften pride, dissolve selfishness, and open our hearts to a broader understanding of humanity. Through these actions, we recognize that we are all connected, all walking our own journeys, and all in need of love. Service also teaches us humility. When we choose to help without seeking recognition, we align ourselves with the quiet, steady work of the divine. True service is done out of love, not out of desire for appreciation or praise. It is in these moments when we assist quietly, offer without expecting anything in return, or support someone who cannot repay us, that our spiritual walk deepens. We begin to see that serving others is not a duty, but a privilege, a way to honor God through the care we extend to His people. Serving others also helps us find meaning and purpose. Many people search for direction in life, but often purpose is discovered not in personal ambition, but in compassionate action. When we serve, we become instruments of hope. A meal shared, a prayer offered, or a burden lifted can become a turning point in someone's life. These moments remind us that we are part of something larger than ourselves, a divine story unfolding through everyday interactions. Service strengthens community as well. A community grounded in compassion becomes a place where trust, unity, and mutual support grow naturally. When each person chooses to serve in small ways, the entire community becomes spiritually enriched. Acts of kindness ripple outward, influencing many lives without us even realizing it. In this way, service becomes a quiet force of transformation. Additionally, serving others nurtures gratitude within us. When we witness the struggles of others, we are reminded of the blessings in our own lives. Gratitude deepens, not through comparison, but through awareness. This awareness keeps us humble and encourages us to continue walking the divine path with a thankful heart. Serving others also brings joy, deep, soul-level joy that comes from giving rather than receiving. This joy strengthens our spiritual walk, helping us remain centered and peaceful even during challenging seasons. It is a joy rooted in the knowledge that we are living out God's love in practical ways. As service fills our steps with compassion and purpose, we grow closer to the heart of God and become bearers of His light. In the next part, we will explore the importance of community and fellowship, how walking with others on the divine path strengthens our faith, supports our journey, and enriches our spiritual growth. Community and fellowship are essential pillars on the divine path, offering support, strength, and shared wisdom that deepen our spiritual journey. Walking alone can sometimes feel isolating, especially in moments of doubt, confusion, or hardship. But when we walk alongside others who share faith, values, and a desire to grow, the journey becomes lighter, richer, and far more meaningful. Community reminds us that faith was never meant to be lived in isolation. It was designed to be experienced through connection. A supportive community provides encouragement when our steps feel heavy. There are seasons when even the strongest heart becomes weary, when prayer feels silent, or when challenges cloud our vision. In such moments, fellowship becomes a lifeline. The presence of others, whether through a conversation, a shared prayer, or simply companionship, helps restore strength. Their faith uplifts ours, and their hope becomes a guiding light when our own is flickering. This mutual support ensures that no one walks the divine path alone. Community also sharpens our understanding. When we connect with others, we hear different perspectives, learn from their experiences, and grow through shared wisdom. Discussions, teachings, and reflections within spiritual fellowship broaden our insight and help us see God's guidance from angles we may have overlooked. This exchange of wisdom strengthens our spiritual foundation and keeps our walk grounded and balanced. Fellowship nurtures accountability as well. Walking the divine path requires commitment, discipline, and conscious choices. Community encourages us to remain faithful to our values and reminds us to stay aligned with what is spiritually meaningful. Loving accountability from others helps us recognize blind spots, correct our course when needed, and stay motivated to continue growing. This type of accountability is not about judgment, but about walking together with honesty, humility, and mutual support. Additionally, community offers opportunities for shared joy. Celebrating milestones, answered prayers, victories, and moments of transformation together deepens connection. Joy becomes multiplied when shared, creating bonds that uplift the heart. These shared moments become memories of God's goodness, reminding us of how deeply He works through relationships. Fellowship also strengthens compassion. When we walk closely with others, we become more aware of their struggles and needs. This awareness inspires us to serve, support, and love more deeply. It also helps us recognize our common humanity, that each person carries joys, burdens, dreams, and wounds. Compassion grows naturally in such relationships, making the community a place of healing and acceptance. Moreover, community keeps us spiritually anchored. In times of distraction or discouragement, fellowship gently calls us back to focus, prayer, and purpose. The presence of others who are committed to the divine path acts as a spiritual compass, guiding us when our own direction becomes unclear. As community and fellowship enrich our journey, we discover that the divine path becomes stronger, sweeter, and more purposeful when walked together. In the next part, we will focus on spiritual discipline, how consistent practices like prayer, meditation, reflection, and obedience help us stay aligned with God's guidance and deepen our spiritual roots. Spiritual discipline forms the backbone of a steady and mature walk on the divine path. While emotions fluctuate, circumstances shift, and seasons change, discipline anchors our spirit and keeps us aligned with God's presence. It is not a rigid rule or a burden. Rather, it is a rhythm that nurtures our inner life. Through practices like prayer, meditation, reflection, and obedience, we cultivate a stable heart that remains connected to the divine, even when external situations test our faith. Prayer is the foundation of spiritual discipline. It opens a direct line between the human heart and God, allowing us to pour out our concerns, express our gratitude, and seek guidance. Consistent prayer develops trust and intimacy. Over time, prayer becomes less of a task and more of a natural expression of love and dependence on God. It strengthens our awareness that we are never walking alone. His presence accompanies every step. Meditation deepens this connection by helping us create stillness within. In a world filled with noise, distractions, and constant activity, meditation allows the heart to slow down and listen. It is in these quiet moments that we sense God's gentle guidance, receive clarity, and experience peace that goes beyond understanding. Regular meditation builds focus and helps us remain spiritually centered even during chaos. Reflection plays an equally important role. Taking time to examine our thoughts, choices, and attitudes helps us grow in wisdom. Reflection reveals areas where we need to adjust, allowing us to align more closely with God's values. It turns experiences, both positive and difficult, into sources of insight. Through reflection, we learn from our journey instead of repeating the same mistakes. Obedience ties all these disciplines together. Hearing God's voice is powerful, but following it brings transformation. Obedience is not blind submission. It is an act of trust that His ways are better than our own. When we obey, we invite God's guidance into practical areas of our lives, our relationships, decisions, habits, and priorities. This obedience strengthens our character and helps us walk with integrity. Consistency is what turns these practices into a lifestyle. Even small daily disciplines eventually reshape the heart. They help us focus not on what is temporary, but on what is eternal. With discipline, our spiritual life becomes rooted and resilient, capable of withstanding trials with calmness and faith. Spiritual discipline also protects us from drifting. Without intention, it is easy to become spiritually distracted or overwhelmed by challenges. Discipline keeps our mind steady and our heart aligned, ensuring that we do not lose sight of the divine path even when life becomes demanding. In addition, discipline nurtures joy. As we grow in our spiritual practices, we experience peace, clarity, and a deeper sense of purpose. These moments of closeness with God fill our journey with meaning, reminding us why we walk this path and who walks with us. As spiritual discipline strengthens our foundation and keeps us rooted in God's presence, we become prepared for deeper transformation. In the next part, we will explore the role of purpose and calling, how discovering God's intention for our lives gives direction, motivation, and a clearer understanding of our place on the divine path. Purpose and calling give direction to our journey on the divine path. Without a sense of purpose, life can feel scattered, confusing, or overwhelming. But when we understand that God has created each of us with intention, meaning, and a unique role, our steps gain focus. Purpose becomes the compass that guides our decisions, strengthens our resolve, and helps us walk forward with confidence, even when the road ahead is uncertain. Purpose does not always reveal itself at once. For many, it unfolds gradually, shaped by experiences, challenges, opportunities, and moments of clarity. Sometimes it appears quietly, through a deep sense of peace about a direction. Other times it emerges through discomfort, pushing us toward growth and change. What remains constant is that our purpose is never accidental. It is crafted by God, woven into our identity, and aligned with His larger plan. Calling is the practical expression of purpose. It represents the ways we use our gifts, talents, and passions to serve God and others. Everyone has a calling, whether it is teaching, helping, encouraging, creating, healing, or simply offering love and presence to those who need it. No calling is too small or too ordinary. God values every act done with sincerity and faith, and He often uses humble beginnings to create powerful impact. Walking in purpose brings clarity. Decisions become easier because they are guided by what aligns with our calling. Distractions lose their power, and challenges become opportunities to grow. When we walk in our God-given purpose, we experience fulfillment. Not the temporary kind that fades, but the deep satisfaction that comes from knowing we are living in harmony with the reason we were created. Purpose also provides strength. When difficulties arise, purpose becomes a reminder that our journey has meaning beyond the moment. It keeps us from giving up when circumstances are difficult or when progress feels slow. Purpose transforms obstacles into lessons and delays into preparation. Even seasons of waiting become valuable, for they often refine our character and deepen our reliance on God. Understanding our purpose also nurtures humility. It reminds us that our gifts are not for self-glory, but for service. When we use our strengths to help others, we honor God and participate in His work. This humility helps us stay grounded, preventing pride or comparison from distracting us. Each person's calling is unique, and comparing our journey with someone else's only blinds us to the beauty of our own. Purpose connects us deeply to the divine path. It becomes the thread that ties our actions, thoughts, and decisions to a larger spiritual narrative. It reminds us that our life matters, our choices matter, and our walk with God has significance beyond what we can fully see. As purpose and calling give direction and meaning to our journey, we become more aligned with God's plan and more confident in our steps. In the next part, we will explore the importance of patience, how waiting with trust, calmness, and hope strengthens our walk on the divine path and prepares us for the blessings ahead. Patience is one of the most essential virtues for anyone walking the divine path. It teaches us to trust God's timing even when we do not understand it. In a world where everything moves quickly and people expect instant results, patience becomes a spiritual strength that sets us apart. It reminds us that not everything meaningful happens immediately, and that God often works in ways we cannot see, preparing blessings that unfold at the perfect moment. Patience begins with trust. When we believe that God's plan is wiser and more complete than our own, waiting becomes easier. We stop trying to force outcomes or rush decisions. Instead, we learn to rest in the assurance that what is meant for us will arrive, and what is not meant for us will fade away. This trust brings peace, even in seasons of uncertainty. It keeps the heart steady and prevents fear from taking control. Waiting is never wasted time on the divine path. In fact, it is often in the waiting that God shapes our character. He strengthens our faith, deepens our wisdom, and prepares us for the responsibilities that come with answered prayers. Patience teaches us to let go of impatience, anxiety, and frustration. It helps us develop endurance, allowing us to face challenges calmly rather than reacting with discouragement. Patience also protects us from harmful choices. When we rush, we often act on emotion rather than wisdom. But when we wait, we allow clarity to emerge. Options become clearer, intentions become purer, and guidance becomes easier to recognize. Patience slows the mind so that the heart can hear God's whisper. It prevents us from settling for less than what God intends and keeps us aligned with His purpose. Another blessing of patience is growth in humility. When we accept that we cannot control everything, we acknowledge our dependence on God. This humility softens our spirit and helps us surrender our plans to His will. It teaches us to release the desire for immediate answers and embrace the journey instead. Through patience, we learn that the process is just as important as the destination. Patience also nurtures gratitude. When blessings finally arrive after a season of waiting, we appreciate them more deeply. We value them not just because they came, but because we understand what it took to reach them. Every blessing feels richer, every achievement feels more meaningful, and every answered prayer becomes a testimony of God's faithfulness. It is important to remember that patience is not passive. It is active trust, steady hope, and quiet strength. It is choosing to remain consistent in faith even when progress seems slow. It is continuing to walk, continuing to pray, and continuing to believe, even when the path ahead is unclear. Patience keeps us moving forward with confidence, knowing that God's timing is always right. As patience deepens our trust and strengthens our spirit, we become more prepared for the fullness of God's plan. In the final part, we will reflect on the harmony of all these qualities, how together they form a complete walk on the divine path and shape a life that remains aligned with God's presence, purpose, and peace. Walking the divine path is not defined by a single moment or a single choice. It is shaped by a lifetime of steady steps, intentional decisions, and a heart continually seeking God's presence. Each quality we have explored, faith, courage, gratitude, forgiveness, service, community, discipline, purpose, patience, comes together to form a journey that is rich, meaningful, and deeply transformative. The divine path is less about reaching a destination and more about becoming the person God intended us to be during the journey itself. At the core of this walk is a heart that remains open to God, a heart that listens, learns, and responds, a heart that knows that spiritual growth is not always smooth, but it is always worthwhile. As we move through seasons of joy, sorrow, clarity, and uncertainty, God uses every moment to shape us. He guides us gently, strengthens us quietly, and prepares us continually for what lies ahead. This awareness brings peace, reminding us that we do not walk alone. The divine path is a journey of balance. Faith keeps us anchored, courage moves us forward, gratitude brightens our steps, forgiveness clears the way. Service connects us with others. Community supports us when we grow weary. Discipline keeps our spirit steady. Purpose gives direction. Patience teaches us trust. Together, these qualities weave a spiritual harmony that aligns our inner life with God's will. When they work in unity, our journey becomes strong, steady, and full of grace. Though challenges will arise, they do not weaken our walk when we rely on God's strength. Trials become teachers, setbacks become shaping tools, and waiting seasons become preparation. Every experience holds meaning, and every lesson draws us deeper into God's presence. This perspective transforms the journey from something we endure into something we embrace with hope and confidence. Walking the divine path also means shining God's light in the world. Our words, actions, choices, and attitudes become a reflection of the one who guides us. Even in ordinary moments, we can bring comfort, encouragement, kindness, and faith to those around us. In doing so, our journey becomes a living testimony, an example of what it means to trust, love, and walk with God in everyday life. In the end, the divine path is a relationship. It is built on trust, sustained through prayer, strengthened by discipline, and enriched by love. It calls us to grow, to let go, to forgive, to persevere, and to rise again every time we stumble. It invites us to live with intention, awareness, and a heart open to God's voice. As you continue walking the path of the divine, may your steps remain steady, your spirit remain peaceful, and your heart remain aligned with God's presence. This journey will continue beyond these words, guiding you into deeper strength, clearer purpose, and a life shaped by faith, love, and unwavering trust in the one who walks beside you, now and always.